Hey, what is up guys? It's Brendan here, and today we're going to be comparing Helcim versus Stripe. Which is the better payment processing company when it comes to you and your small business? Which is the better option when it comes to their pricing, their different types of payment processing platforms as far as when you're looking at terminals, as well as online, and what type of business do you run? And of course, most important of all, what does their pricing and fees look like depending on how you operate your business and which is the best solution for you when it comes to processing payments in your small business. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at here in today's video. Again, comparing Stripe and Helcim, which is the better option. And if you do want to sign up for either company, Helcim or Stripe, you can go and check out those links linked down below in the video description. That's brandvalesky.com/Helcim if you would like to check out Helcim and get started for free today. Or you can also check out the link to Stripe as well in the video description. Whichever company you want to check out or follow along, again, links are down below in the video description. Again, some of which are affiliate links, which can be a great way to help out and support the channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into things. Now, as a quick brief overview, Helcim is known as an affordable payments for your business. As you can see here, they offer affordable solutions for businesses accepting credit card payments in person and online. Now, they are primarily known for their interchange plus pricing model, which is a lot cheaper than a lot of the other types of payment processors out there. We'll get into specific pricing comparisons in just a second here as to which might make sense for you. But that is one thing that is really nice about Helcim. You can get started completely for free as well. And taking a look here at Stripe, now Stripe is a much more popular, more well-known company in the payment processing space. They probably are honestly the #1 payment processing company when it comes to just general popularity. And they allow you to accept payments online, in person, and they also have robust financial software for SaaS-based companies and things like that as well. If you're looking at processing high volumes of payments, as you can see here, even in the millions per month. That's really Stripe's claim to fame, and they do work with a lot of other popular companies as well in terms of processing those payments and offering an integrated suite of different financial and payment products. So that's kind of the general overview. If we take a quick look here at the pricing comparisons, we're going to be taking a look at, of course, specific features in a little bit, as well as far as which is maybe better. But when it comes to just looking purely at the pricing, Helcim, as you can see here, you can get started for free. And now their pricing model does depend on your location as far as like what types of credit cards you're actually processing. So in terms of, they don't just charge a regular flat rate, which is nice because you can actually save a lot of money. You can use their calculator here based on your monthly sales volume. If you have a certain level of sales per month that you process in your business, and the average transaction size will also impact this. So I would feel free, check out the link below and you can test around with your own numbers as far as what these calculations may look like. But they do interchange plus. So you're able to get lower rates if your customers are using different types of credit cards, right? If you're processing a lot more American Express, you might end up paying a little bit more than what you would be paying for MasterCard, Visa, and Discover. And then they also offer keyed and online is a little bit more expensive, as well as ACH-based payments, which can be a lot cheaper, as well as pass-on fees, which allows you to get completely free credit card processing, which can be a really nice perk to you as the business owner if you're able to pass the fees on to your customer. Again, look for the specific laws and regulations in your state as far as what you're able to do here as far as credit card processing fees and how you're able to charge them. But they do offer that technology there available to you if you would like to do convenience fees, so online convenience fees or in-person surcharging, so you're able to pay 0% for processing credit cards. It's their Helcim Fee Saver, which is a really, really nice feature, allows you to get credit card processing essentially completely for free. And this is an option that really a lot of companies don't have, even just beyond Stripe. This is a nice feature that Helcim does have and offers. Taking a look here at Stripe's pricing model, they have a more flat rate, more simplified rate, which is just 2.9% plus 30 cents. Now, as you can see, that is a little bit more expensive than Helcim, but it does kind of average out. So depending on, what types of cards, the transaction volumes, you can contact either of these companies and they can help you run the numbers as far as which might be cheaper for you, depending on, your average sales volume, how much you sell, all those kind of things. They can get you custom pricing as well. So it's definitely worth reaching out to either of these companies, really any kind of payment processing company, to try and get a good deal for you, especially if you're at that higher volume stage. If you're a brand new beginner, maybe Helcim might be good for you, Stripe could be good for you. We'll get into specific features in just a little bit. But as far as the pricing goes, I did want to also just really break down the specifics there in terms of how that pricing model works. And that's for their base card payments here within Stripe. This 2.9% plus 30 cents is pretty common that you'll see in the industry for the flat rate card payment processing. And this includes Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Apple Pay, Klarna, Affirm, ACH Debit, and more. They do have specific payment method pricing. So regular card payments are going to be at 2.9 plus 30 cents. Same thing for like Apple Pay, but it does get a little bit more less expensive for ACH direct payment, as well as, if it's a USD bank transfer. But if you're processing Affirm, Klarna, Cash App, buy now, pay later, of course, there's going to be a little bit more risk there, but it is nice you can at least offer that to your customers, but that is going to be at an additional fee. So that is something worth considering there as well when you're looking at the pricing. The nice other thing about Stripe is that they really do have a lot of features built in their payments. In terms of other pricing, though, something to keep in mind here with Stripe, that's something that Helcim does not really do, is that Helcim does not charge additional fees for most things that they offer you. As you can see here, no monthly fees, no setup fees, no cancellation fees, no deposit fees. One thing about Stripe that's you need to keep in mind in terms of transaction fees is that they do charge additional fees on certain things that you use with them. So, if you're using a terminal, it actually might be a little bit cheaper. But if you are going to be processing certain types of advanced fraud detection, that might charge an extra fee. If you have some certain types of card issuing, some of the billing is a little bit of an extra ding. See, paying with per paid invoice, an extra 0.4%. So these little fees do add up to quite a lot, depending on what kind of payments that you're actually processing with them. Whereas with a company like Helcim, a lot of the different tools that they have in terms of, going with invoicing, again, free digital invoices, online checkout, recurring payments, all these kind of things are just additional things that you don't have to necessarily pay, this extra percentage fee for each of these features. Now, some of these features might make sense for you if you are processing high volumes, but that is something worth considering as well, especially for the invoicing. I feel like a lot of people, might not notice that extra fee. It's something to keep in mind. Now, they do also offer custom pricing for large businesses. Helcim also does that as well. If you're at this, they will say, hey, reach out to us if you're at that high range, and they will give you more custom volume discounts depending on the tier that you're at as well. The only fee that you do have to consider with Helcim is if you are going to be doing tap to pay on iPhone, that will be an extra 10 cents per transaction, at least as of the time of making today's video. Now, in terms of taking a look here, of course, at the ways to process these payments beyond just the actual pricing and fee structure that you have to consider with Stripe or Helcim, is the actual terminals, right? So with Helcim, as you can see here, we have the smart terminal, the card reader terminal, the card reader, basic card reader, smart terminal, as well as the tap to pay on iPhone. Now, tap to pay on iPhone is a really nice feature because you can just get a regular old iPhone. You don't need any special hardware. You don't have to pay for hardware, and you can go right out of the box and just start tapping for payments, which is really convenient. With Stripe, they do also have, similar hardware as well. If we scroll down here, we do have the Stripe Reader S700, the Stripe Reader M2. This is available depending on the country that you're in, the BBPOS, WisePad, and then they also do have tap to pay on iPhone, as well as tap to pay on Android. So depending on what kind of devices you already have, or if you do need some terminals, both Stripe and Helcim do offer a decent suite of terminals. Again, Stripe has a little bit more terminal flexibility in terms of options compared to Helcim, but Helcim's 3 terminals. If you're just using an iPhone or these two, those really fit, honestly, like most business needs in general. So either could be good options. If you do need maybe more dynamic terminals, then maybe Stripe might be better. But if you're really looking at even further advanced POS systems, maybe you want to even look beyond Helcim and Stripe if you're looking at really that kind of situation, beyond just processing more basic level of payments. Again, that depends on your industry as to what your needs might be, but that's what the terminals look like for both companies. Next, looking at the actual features, of course, here we have the point of sale, virtual terminal, invoicing, online checkout, recurring payments, and payment pages, all available within Helcim. Within Stripe, you also have a variety of different products, right? Payments, terminals, Connect and Capital, as well as revenue and finance management when it comes to invoicing. Now, who is each platform best for by and large, right? We look at Helcim, we look at Stripe. Generally, I would say that Helcim is best for, small businesses that are looking to process payments in person or online. But you're really purely looking for processing payments and getting affordable payment processing at a good rate. You don't necessarily need all the extra, software flexibility that Stripe could give you. And I'll get into that in just a little bit here. But if you're really just purely looking at processing payments, and maybe you're in healthcare, retail, professional services, contractor, home services, wholesale, education, or automotive, right? These are kind of the industries that they focus on. It could be a good option for you to go with Helcim. Where it makes maybe more sense is if you're okay with spending, you're okay with spending a little bit more money on some of the extra bells and whistles with Stripe. Stripe makes the most sense for high volume e-commerce and SaaS companies. Realistically, like most SaaS companies are using Stripe for processing payments online because of their advanced security features and their dynamic coding and API features, right? The API features, the coding features you can build into your site is really, really dynamic within Stripe. Again, it's good for e-commerce and good for like SaaS, software as a service company, or any kind of developers that are going to be building out more advanced platforms for accepting payments, or just more advanced pricing tiers and things like that. Stripe might be better for you in that case. High volume online. They do also process in-person payments, but in general, if you're going to be just doing that, Helcim might be the better option for you because you're probably going to be able to get it cheaper than what Stripe would offer you. So it really depends on what your needs are within the type of business that you're running. The other nice thing about Stripe is they do have a lot of e-commerce integrations as well, so you can easily connect it to things like Shopify, WooCommerce, a lot of different e-commerce platforms, whereas Helcim is more, focused on those in-person payments and then just processing payments through their own portals, right? If you're just doing invoicing, or if you're sending customers just pages for them to pay on, or setting up, automated billing, if you don't necessarily need like a full-fledged e-commerce website, although, Helcim does have the ability for you to build out some inventory and process e-commerce on there as well. You can build out a site with them with their online checkout. But it just depends. If you do need the more advanced features, it might make more sense to go with Stripe. Helcim does still have some of those things like their Helcim Pay and developer features, but it's not necessarily as fleshed out as something like Stripe by comparison. You do also have some integrations here with like QuickBooks and Xero with Helcim as well. So really Helcim, is built more for, those brick and mortar type small businesses or just processing those payments directly, whereas Stripe is more for those like high volume, big scale, enterprise level, or e-commerce or software as a service company. So hopefully this kind of helped you clear up some of the easy differences and when it comes to pricing, fees, features between Stripe and Helcim. Again, guys, if you want to check out either of these companies, whether it be Helcim or Stripe, links will be linked down below in the video description. If you guys found this video helpful or enjoyed it, then be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and the notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. But anyway, guys, that's all for today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.